Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're jumping into something we all deal with, like constantly, that voice inside your head.
Yeah, that nonstop internal monologue. We're going to unpack its incredible power over your mental strength, your resilience.
We've got a great stack of sources, neuroscience stuff, mindfulness experts, resilience coaches.
And the big idea, really, across all of them is this: your inner voice.
Yeah.
It's not just background noise. It's almost like wearing VR goggles. It
Right.
literally shapes how you see everything.
That VR goggle analogy is, wow, it really hits home.
Yeah.
Because if that voice is filtering reality,
Mm-hmm.
then our mission today is pretty clear. We need to figure out, okay, what is the default setting on those goggles?
Right, and how does it mess with our brains chemically?
And then the big one,
Yeah.
how do we switch them out? How do we get like a coach's perspective instead of a critic's?
Exactly. We want you leads knowing how to build a kinder inner dialogue, to feel like you actually have some control over which voices get the microphone, you know?
It's huge because this self-talk, it's everything, isn't it? Every little thought, opinion, belief.
Even the stuff you don't quite say out loud just sort of flashes through your mind. It can be positive, negative, or just kind of neutral, but it always shapes how you feel and what you do next.
Okay, but let's be real. When you actually tune in, most of us find that default setting is, well, it's pretty harsh. The inner critic seems to run the show a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why does the mind lean negative when things are actually okay?
Well, it's basically an old habit, like really old, thousands of years old. We call it the evolutionary trap. Our brains evolved to focus on the negative, the glass half empty view, because, frankly, it kept us alive.
Okay, so thinking about like our ancestors,
Yeah.
the ones who were always worried about the worst case scenario, the drought, the attack, they were the ones more likely to survive.
Precisely. If you were jumpy, hypervigilant, you probably lived longer. That negative bias was essential for spotting threats. But the problem is, our wiring hasn't really updated for, modern life. The threats now are more like missed deadlines or maybe an awkward email.
Not saber-toothed tigers.
Exactly. But the brain still defaults to that same high alert critical mode. And the more we listen to it, the stronger those negative pathways get. It becomes a habit, literally wired in.
So we're kind of predisposed to listen to that negative voice.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where it gets serious. Because if that voice, the I'm a failure, I'm not good enough track just runs wild, the sources say it leads to this thing called cognitive fusion.
Yeah, fusion. And this is a really key concept. It means you get so tangled up with a thought that you just accept it as like absolute truth.
So you don't see it as just a thought anymore.
Nope. You believe the thought is reality. That inner voice merges with your identity, your fuse.
And the fallout from that, it must be huge. Because that one negative thought then controls how you feel and act, no matter what's actually happening.
Totally. Look at the examples we found. There was Chen, right? Always hitting deadlines, getting good feedback. Yeah.
But she was convinced she'd fail the next project. Every success was just luck. She was fused with the thought, I'm an imposter, even though the evidence screamed otherwise.
Wow. It's like the voice just filters out the good stuff. And Rizzo, the guy worried about his appearance.
Right. Fixated on something tiny. His inner monologue was all, nobody will find me attractive.
Uh-huh.
And boom, crippling social anxiety. He started avoiding people, missing out. The thought wasn't objectively true, but because he believed it so strongly, it became his reality.
And Maria, the parent example.
Same pattern. Beating herself up over tiny parenting slip-ups, completely ignoring all the good stuff, the love, the stability she provided. That inner critic just took over.
Okay.
And in every case, what happens? More stress, more anxiety, crippling self-doubt, and crucially, it tanks your ability to actually cope with everyday challenges. Fusion steals your perspective.
So, if the critic is the default, and it's so powerful, is the answer just to, grit your teeth and force yourself to be happy? That sounds exhausting and kind of fake, like toxic positivity. That's such an important point. And note, the answer is definitely not toxic positivity. It's not about pretending negative feelings don't exist.
Okay, good.
That's why we need to talk about mindful self-talk. It's different. It's about consciously noticing your thoughts, but without judging them.
Noticing without judgment.
And then intentionally choosing thoughts that are actually supportive. It's really an act of self-compassion. It's an action, not just wishful thinking.
That distinction, noticing, not judging, feels really important. So when you shift from being stuck in the thought to just observing it and then choosing something kinder, what's happening inside? Physically, what's the science say?
Okay, this is the cool part, the aha moment. When you practice this mindful, positive self-talk, you get an immediate chemical shift in your brain.
Really? Like what?
You get a boost in the feel-good chemicals, dopamine, that's motivation, reward, it goes up, serotonin, happiness, calm, that increases too. And importantly, stress hormones like cortisol, they go down. Less cortisol means you literally feel less anxious and you can think more clearly, especially under pressure.
So swapping the critic for the coach actually makes you feel physically less stressed. That's the chemistry. But what about the brain structure? Can doing this regularly actually rewire things long term?
Absolutely. That's neuroplasticity in action. Your brain isn't fixed, it's constantly adapting.
Right.
So when you consistently practice positive self-talk, positive affirmations, you are literally reshaping those neural pathways. Brain scans actually show activity in key reward centers, especially the ventral striatum.
Okay, ventral striatum. For those of us not looking at brain scans all day, why is that specific part important here?
Because it's basically the brain's main reward hub. By lighting it up repeatedly through self-support, you're training your brain to associate feeling good reward, pleasure, with self-compassion.
Ah.
Instead of getting stuck in that familiar, damaging loop of self-criticism, you're building new positive connections, stronger ones.
It really sounds like we have way more influence over our internal world than we often think. I like that simple exercise mentioned in one source, the 12-minute meditation thing, where you just play with the sound of your inner voice.
Yeah, that's such a powerful way to realize it. Just consciously thinking the same negative phrase in, say, a silly high-pitched voice or singing it.
Yeah.
It instantly shows you that the voice itself is just, well, it's malleable. The automatic voice, the critic, it's just one voice. It's not the truth. And you actually have the power to change its tone, its intention.
Understanding we have that choice.
Yeah.
That's the perfect lead into the practical stuff, the strategies. If we want to upgrade those VR goggles, how do we actually do it? Starting today, strategy 1 seems to be about creating distance.
Exactly, psychological distance.
Yeah.
And this is a great place to start because it works fast. Research by Cross and Mosier found that simply using your own name, or you, instead of I.
Like talking to yourself.
Yeah, third-person self-talk. It quickly lowers that emotional intensity, that panic feeling. And interestingly, it doesn't seem to take extra mental effort.
Okay, walk me through it. Let's say I'm prepping for something big, maybe a presentation, and the critic starts up, I'm gonna bomb, I'll forget everything. Total disaster.
Right. The second you notice that spiral, you switch perspective. Instead of I, you say, okay, your name, actually use your name. You're feeling nervous, sure, but you prepared, you've handled pressure before. Let's just focus on the first part.
Huh. You literally shift from panicked I to a calmer, wiser you. It's like giving yourself the advice you'd give a buddy.
Exactly. Which is almost always kinder and more objective, right?
Exactly.
That little bit of distance helps you access the problem-solving parts of your brain, not just the emotional reaction center.
Okay, that makes sense. Strategy 2. What about when the negative spiral is already going? The sources mention mindful awareness and reframing, something about a purple zebra.
Huh. Yeah, the purple zebra. It's just a funny reminder that if you try really hard not to think about something, don't think about failing. You actually end up thinking about it more.
Right, like try not to think of a purple zebra makes you picture one.
Exactly. So you need an interrupt, something to break the loop. It could be a mental cue, just thinking stop, or even a tiny physical thing like lightly pinching yourself just to snap out of it.
Okay, so interrupt the thought train. But then you can't just leave a blank space, right? That's where the reframing comes in. Challenging the critic.
Yes. Once you've interrupted, you immediately question the thought. Ask yourself, is this actually helpful right now? Or, a really good one, would I ever say this to my best friend?
Ooh, that's powerful.
And the answer is usually a clear no. So then you reframe it. You replace the harsh thought with something more balanced, more compassionate.
Give me an example of a good reframe.
Okay, so the thought is, I completely messed up that meeting. I'm such a failure.
Yep, sounds familiar.
A compassionate reframe would be something like, okay, I made a mistake in that meeting. That feels bad, but everyone messes up sometimes. What can I learn from this so I can handle it better next time? See the shift.
Yeah, it acknowledges the feeling but moves toward learning, not just wallowing.
Exactly. And classic mindfulness tools work here too, like noting, just labeling the thought, there's that worry about the future again, and then letting it go. Or that blue sky analogy.
Oh, I like that one. Tell us about that.
It's a great perspective shifter. Imagine your mind, your core awareness is like a vast, clear blue sky. It's always there.
Okay.
Your thoughts, your feelings, even the really intense, stormy ones, they're just clouds passing through. Clouds come and go, they change shape, but the blue sky underneath remains unchanged, always present.
So the thoughts aren't you, they're just weather patterns passing through the sky of your mind.
Exactly. That detachment is the total opposite of that cognitive fusion we talked about earlier.
Right. Okay, final strategy area. Affirmations and self-compassion. Now, affirmations, sometimes they get a bad rap, feel a bit cheesy or forced. How do we make them actually work, especially when we're feeling low?
That's a fair point. And the key is they only work if they're done right. They need to be short, positive, and in the present tense. But critically, they have to resonate with you. They need to align with your actual values and goals. Just saying, I am a millionaire when you're broke probably won't land. Your brain knows it's not true.
Right.
But affirming something like, I am capable of figuring this out, or I give myself permission to rest when I need it. If those feel authentic to you, they can work.
And consistency is key. Saying them daily, really feeling them.
Absolutely. Repetition helps build those new neural pathways we talked about. They need to feel genuine over time. And alongside that, when the critic inevitably pops up again, the best response isn't usually to fight it head on.
What then?
Self-compassion. It's the fastest way to soothe that harsh voice.
How do you do self-compassion in that moment, practically?
You notice the critical voice, but instead of getting angry at it, you offer it a bit of kindness. You can literally turn your attention inward, maybe offer a little mental inward smile and think something like, okay, I hear you trying to protect me, but I've got this handled differently now. Thanks for trying.
So you acknowledge its intention, almost, like it's trying to help, just in a really unhelpful way.
Exactly. It shifts the whole dynamic from a battle to just acceptance. It brings you back to the present moment, calms the nervous system.
And wrapping gratitude into all this helps too, right?
Yeah.
Focusing on the good stuff.
Definitely. It actively counteracts that old evolutionary negativity bias. Just noticing small good things, sunshine, a good cup of coffee, a friendly interaction builds up those positive pathways. It's like daily training for your brain.
Wow, okay. It's all connected.
It really is. And look, mindful self-talk, it's a practice. It's not like you reach some destination and you're done.
Right.
But making that consistent daily effort, using that third-person talk, catching the negative thought, offering yourself some kindness, that's what builds real, measurable resilience. True inner strength.
So wrapping this all up for you listening, we started with this idea of the inner voice as VR goggles, right? Often stuck on this narrow critical view. What we've seen today is that the key to inner strength isn't about silencing that critic completely. You can't really stop your brain from thinking. It's about gaining choice in how you respond.
And breaking free from that automatic self-critical pilot mode. That's the challenge. It takes daily commitment. But the payoff, shifting from feeling like a victim of your thoughts to feeling like the one steering the ship, is just immense.
So here's the final thought we want to leave you with today. Think about those VR goggles. How often, especially when things get tough, are you willing to just pause, to notice the automatic script playing in your head, and then consciously choose to peek outside those goggles, to see the bigger picture beyond that one limiting thought?
That moment of choice. Pausing, noticing, and then responding differently. That is where your real, unshakable inner strength is built. That's the work.